Do you live your life rockboat to rockboat? If so, then welcome aboard the BoatCast, the podcast for rockboaters by rockboaters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bermuda Search Party. Welcome. This is awesome. So this is one of the most unique things about the rock boat is once they release the list of artists that are going to be on and such, it's like a national search. Everybody that goes on the boat is searching, downloading, listening to, liking, sharing everybody's music because everybody wants to be informed. And I have been addicted to your music and your enthusiasm, watching your videos when you guys are on stage. Every time I see one, I'm just like now I know why Six Man and Hazel have you guys coming on the boat. So this is, and I know the fellow boaters love you all. So welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you mentioned the videos. Those videos are amazing. Well done. Like July, love it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Running around in a forest.
That's right.
Exactly.
So for the listeners, can you walk us through and this is a question I typically ask everybody that comes on, Bermuda Search Party, what is the genesis of the name for the band?
Yeah, I'll take it. So we really wanted a singular mission for the group. Something where we're all coming together for one goal. And we all really love just stories about cryptids or mysterious events in history, and Bermuda Triangle came up as one of those things that's you learn about it. I remember being so terrified in middle school, oh my God, what if I'm ever in a plane that flies over this thing? What's going to happen to me and my family?
Right.
And in my entire adult life, it's never come up again. It's this thing that has gripped me. And so we love the idea of search party because it's when we get together as a group, when we collaborate, when we create together, it's we're looking for ideas. We're trying to find ourselves in the song or find ideas for the song. And the concept of, what better place to look for something than in a place where things are notoriously lost. And the two ideas kind of came together and it just kind of stuck from there.
Nice. And I want to give kudos to all of your artwork, for all of your music, and your posters. How do you guys distribute that job task?
I'll let you two take that one.
Yeah, for a long time, myself and Macklin as well were doing a lot of the artwork for the group, and recently we started working with some other artists, which have been very exciting for us, and also has been kind of a load off our shoulders as well, to kind of be able to share creative visions with other people. But
totally.
I think the artistic and visual part of the band is something that we also are very attached to and connected to. So we always want to make sure that the visuals go with the music and go with our personalities, and that it's all very connected and intertwined.
Yeah,
nice.
And the artists we've been working with recently are so great. They're really cool. All the new things that we have coming up, just super stoked about those. So it's
little
nice.
Little Tuffy on the tour poster.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the UFO.
Really cool.
I saw that, and I saw the giant. What is that? A giant squid?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. I haven't seen one on the rock boat yet, so don't worry. But the poster is pretty kick-ass.
We'll bring one.
We'll find one.
Yeah.
We'll be looking.
Yeah. No, I feel it's cool being a band at our level of growth right now, because it's everyone wears a hat. It's you guys do the artwork. Hoyt has done a lot of the production stuff when it comes to our rigs, and a lot of all the executive functioning just falls on somebody at any given time. Yeah, it's a big old team. It's
Cool.
nice to hear you guys talk about it.
So, speaking of delegating and team and rigs, you guys are in for a treat. Let me tell you something about Six Man and the people at Hazel. You guys are going to be, all the bands are treated like royalty on there as far as logistics, the stage. So, you guys are in for a 4-star red carpet treat. Your mind's going to be blown. They have a well-oiled machine. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys, but you guys are gonna be in for a treat, and you're gonna be like, "This is fucking awesome."
What would make that a 5-star there, Chris? Saw you gave it
If they would
4
let me
stars.
drive the boat.
Ooh, is that like a package that we can buy?
No, not allowed. All I want to do is bang a Yui in the ocean. That's it. I'm not asking for much.
Donuts.
Or a donut. That would be fun.
You think
So-
I can see ropes the world and a lifeboat on?
Yeah.
It's like an inflatable one.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how your search party found us. You know, how'd you find the rock boat and the sound check?
Booking agent, wasn't it?
I
think so, yeah.
So we went to college with a band called Mom Rock, and we
Oh yeah, we know them.
I have their jersey hanging up.
Yes, I've seen those popping up at concerts, and
Yep.
when the Rock Boat family shows up, I have no idea if it's because of that at all, but we've kind of been tuned into the Rock Boat for the last 3-4 years as something that we've really wanted to be a part of. And at this last summer at a festival called Mile of Music was when we really started meeting a lot of the Rock Boat
Nice.
family, as well as when the sound check was going on. And we really just heard because our manager was like, "Hey, you're in the top 10 for the Rock Boat thing. Did you know this?" And we're like, "No, but that's sick." And yeah,
And like as soon as we started hearing about it, we just haven't stopped hearing about it.
exactly.
And people are like, "See you on the rock boat." It's like, is this a secret society? What's happening?
It is.
Pretty much, you're in now.
Yeah.
But I did wonder about, you know, the band meeting in college from Boston. If you knew those guys, you seem to be probably around their age. That's something.
Yeah,
Small world.
entering class, or at least the three of us.
Yeah, we would play basement shows together. Definitely grew up in the same scene, and yeah, it's been cool to watch their journey as well as they
Yeah.
go over the last few
Curtis and I
years.
had ear training together, and like driving each other to gigs and all that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we played shows.
Yes, we
What
did.
was it like when you guys found out you were going to be on the boat? How did that transpire?
It was a whole lot of hype.
It was.
A lot of hype.
We, I hadn't heard very much about it until Cameron's message about us being in the top 10.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was just like, oh, we have to do that. We have to try
We
and
have to get on.
We have to do this. Sounds awesome.
yeah, it was like one of those things I think where we were trying to not like get our hopes up too much, but just everything that we were hearing from people, specifically like it was around the time that we were playing Mile of Music, this festival.
Yep.
And yeah, like Leo said, we kept hearing from people, they're like, "Oh, it's the best. You're gonna have such a great time." And we were like, "Well, we didn't get it yet, so don't get us too excited." And yeah, when we found out that we actually did make it onto the boat, it was like, oh my god, all these this feeling of excitement we can finally like actually feel and not like be worried about maybe we won't get.
Right, and it's like that surreal feeling of like watching when they did the announcement for Soundcheck and the winners of like this man I've never seen in my life before say all the names of like the headliners and then say the name of our band, and I'm like, how do you even? When did you hear about us? How did
Wow.
you even?
Why are we in your mouth?
Yeah, and it's just been hype ever since. We've been like trying to plan how we're gonna get down to Miami and just if we're gonna have extra days and just all the logistics of it and making a plan to be in warmer weather and really good company for about a week.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Well, talk to us about Mile of Music, our good friend Ian. And actually, that was the first time I had ever heard of you was from our friends Floorbird, who came back raving about you.
Oh,
Yep.
Floorbird. Hell yeah.
Thanks, Floorbird.
We got to hang out in a I hear a quintessential Mile of Music 3 a.m. pool session with them.
We did.
Yeah.
They had texted me. They were like, "You got to get them on." I was like, "All right, we'll work on it." 2 of them.
We don't pull all the strings here. All right. But yeah, those guys are our Philadelphia brothers.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Also, I want to give you guys a congratulations on your nomination for the Boston Music Awards for this year. The 4 categories that you all are in. So that's pretty awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
So speaking of you seeing your name on the poster with the release of the other artists, and which is kind of awesome. What is collaboration? When you hear that word as a band, what does that mean to you guys?
I can run with it if you want me to run.
Yeah, go with it.
That's a well-kept secret. I think for me, personally, being like, feeling the obligation and pressure of being kind of at the nexus point of this band, of like a lot of collaboration for me means letting go of my ego while also being able to still give and kind of like serve the band. A lot of it is like, every idea is a good idea, even if the person saying it says it's stupid before it leaves their mouth. And every idea is worth trying. And the toughest part of it for me, but I think is one of the things that I'm trying to do and that I think we do well as a group, is like, just because it's my idea, it doesn't mean it's the best idea. And collaboration is like freely sharing of ideas, not thinking that anybody has the right answer going into it, but knowing that we will get to the right answer together.
That's pretty
School
awesome.
school has taught them well, right?
I don't know. Berkeley taught me to show off more than anything.
Yeah, I think we learned it with one another more than anything. But like you were saying, I feel like collaboration for us really leads us to like a lot of wonderful ideas that come from like a lot of different perspectives. And like Leo was talking about, sometimes it's hard, it's difficult because it's like idea versus idea. But in the end, I think it's something pretty strong.
Yeah, we've only gotten more collaborative over the years, and not just collaborative with ourselves, but with, like we were talking about, with other artists or with producers, and just expanding the team. And I think it can only keep getting more collaborative and better from here on out.
The boat has this unique way of forming unscripted collaboration moments, because we're all stuck on a vessel together for a week, and it creates some awesome memories. And I've been talking about this with other bands and artists, and it's nothing that's forced upon. It just kind of happens naturally, and I'm hopeful that you all get to experience that as well, with whoever it may be. But regardless, I'm excited to see you all perform. When you guys are traveling and when you are on tour and creating music, what are the like the band dynamics? Because there's 5 of you, so it's like everybody's got a personality. So like, can you walk us through what it would be like?
You're
when
just saying,
on
give
your
us the
journey?
scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like Leo was saying, like we all kind of take on a little bit of a different role depending on like what needs to get done, and that
Who does the least amount of work? I'm just kidding.
It depends on the...
I do the least amount of packing, but I do the most amount of driving.
All right.
That
Okay.
is correct.
Steven has yet to drive.
I am you if I were in this situation with Mark and Chris.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true. Eamon
Yes.
once showed up to the rock boat with a trash bag instead of a
No, that was
full of clothes.
that was Boston. That was Boston. That was
Boston?
a spur of the moment Boston trip.
I mean, it's not a bad suitcase because when trash bags are usually scented, so all your clothes smell good. Like when you take them out,
Waterproof.
Nobody's
I like
gonna
this
do
guy.
Recruit.
He's a half full, glass is half full kind of guy. I like that.
And if you need any extra insulation, just poke 3 holes in it, and you got yourself a poncho. When you ask the question, though, a very specific story comes to mind where it was me and Macklin. Macklin was driving, and there's like this there's this social dynamic that I think happens on tour where it's like we start to feel out each other's personal space, and it's like we're so used to joking around with each other and keeping the energy up, but there's always a moment where somebody's fucking exhausted, excuse my language, and we just
No.
are like, that's it, I just need space. Me and Macklin in the front row, Macklin was driving, we're like an hour and a half into the drive, it's 3 a.m., and he's just making jokes to keep himself awake. And I'm trying to keep up with him, and he turns to me and he's like, dude, like, you don't gotta keep up with me right now. I'm just trying to keep myself awake. This is for me. And then the last, like, half an hour to an hour of the drive, Macklin's just cracking himself up until we get to where we're going.
I'm just like murmuring and babbling. And like Leo's over there and he's like responding to what I'm saying, and I'm like, this is very sweet of him. I appreciate him giving me this energy. And I'm like, he might be getting tired, but I'm doing this like to keep myself awake so I can physically drive. But it was very sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That would be, Chris. That would be me if I was passenger and you were driving through traffic. I'd have to be like, all right, Chris, you're doing this.
This is coming from the guy who slept for 16 out of 19 hours on the way down to Florida.
Yep, I did.
Yup. Every road trip has its time traveler.
This is quick travel. It's fast travel. Nice and easy. Go to sleep 20 minutes in. We hit the highway. I'm out. We pull off the highway. Up.
I just woke up for stops at Buc-ee's.
Yep.
My driving shifts.
Yeah,
We're chilling.
done. It's simple.
Can we talk about your single Shiver? The first 15 to 30 seconds when you can see people sitting in that canoe, how long did it take for the water to subside so that there wasn't really much wake?
We actually lucked out so much with that day. The water was like pristine and so clear, and
No one else on the lake.
no one else was there. And I think with the way the timing worked out, we got there we had like 15 minutes before the sun went down. So we were like, okay, we have 3 takes. One of these takes has got to be the one. And yeah, so like I have no idea how long it took because it kind of just happened. I feel like as soon as we got out there, the drone came down and we were like, all right, we're filming.
Yeah. One of the things was the drone would make more ripples, so we had to like strategically find the places where the drone could get closer to the water.
Right. Nailed
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great song. I would encourage everyone that's listening to go watch the video on YouTube or wherever you stream, because it's a great song and a great video. And speaking of songs and all things good, what is the process when developing a song for Bermuda Search Party?
Claire and I are the primary lyric writers, so
Cool.
we usually show up to rehearsal with something new, and we'll start playing it, and the band will join in, and little by slowly that becomes parts, and somebody will play something that sounds good, and it's like, well, what if you did that again? And there's always like a turning point of like, okay, let's actually make this a song now. And we kind of talk about structure and form and how we can get from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. And that's how a lot of the songs have come together so far. But we are moving into a space now where we'll just start with a musical element. Steven could be playing a drum groove, or Hoyt could be playing long tones on trombone, or Macklin could be playing something on the keys, or it just starts with one of us, and we all join in, and here we have like this, what I would call like the A section of a song. We just vamp on the thing for like 20 minutes to 30 minutes at the beginning of rehearsal, get a voice memo. And recently I've been taking those voice memos and sitting with the parts and trying to write lyrics to that and kind
Nice.
of going from the opposite way in. So we're kind of in like a shifting phase right now, or maybe less of a shifting, but the net is wider for how a song can be born.
Tackling it from both sides. I like that.
Have all of you been on a cruise ship before?
What do we work in?
Did not hear you.
We can't hear Chris.
Did you guys hear
You're
us?
good.
Have you all been on a cruise ship before?
No.
I have
Yes.
I'm excited to for the first time. Yeah, very, very hyped. Looking forward
Yeah.
to it.
The only other
So
time
it's
I've been on a cruise ship has been, like, it still stands up as one of my favorite weeks of my life. So now to go with all my friends, I can't imagine.
And to play music.
And playing music.
you'll probably never want to go on another cruise ship after the Rock Boat, like a normal cruise,
In a
like a
good
Disney
way.
cruise. Not to knock Disney, great, each their own.
It's
But
just a different animal.
1,000-yard stare whenever anybody says boat for the rest of my life.
Well, unless you're finishing off like a nice long tour, and you want to go on a cruise just to lay out and veg out basically, because the difference between the rock boat and a normal cruise is just that. Like, I always say that I need a vacation after my vacation on the rock boat because it's exhausting.
I believe
I
it.
got a lot of downtime, a quiet time, and just
Yeah. We've been warned to pace ourselves.
Yeah.
yes, it is. It's not. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, it's a lot, and it's gonna be. I think from artists that come on the boat for the first time, it's always a unique response that they have. I think that the fellow boaters can observe, because you're going to have people there that you've never seen before as far as listeners, and they're going to know all of your music, because that's what the rock boat community does. And not only that, if you bring some sweet ass merch on the boat, we're going to buy it all.
Mm-hmm.
Already filling out the customs forms.
Yes.
Awesome. And I'm sure your friends at Mom Rock and or Floorbird may have mentioned that merch is kind of a big deal on the boat. Each their own. Again, bands can do whatever they want, but it is something that we as fellow boaters all look forward to every year, and so we're always excited. And it sounds like you might be working on some things if you're filling out the customs forms, so that's exciting. Did you guys all have your passports? You ready?
Oh yeah.
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 So good. Mine expired.
Now- So
I just had to look at mine. I got to renew mine next year.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Is there another boat for that?
what is one thing that you guys look forward to when you're performing in an area that you're in, no pun intended, in uncharted water? Like, do you guys like scope out the venue? Like, do you like what? I guess what kind of like prep do you do? Kind of research.
Sorry, one more time. Exact wording of the question.
So like when you're like, for example, going on the rock boat, what kind of like homework have you guys done to like prepare? Not as much, not to like, obviously you don't know what to expect, right? Going into this, it's a new experience, and I just like to know, typically from a band's point of view, when you're going into something new, like a venue like this, where there's different stages, some are inside, some are outside, some are in elevators, some are in cabins.
Yeah, some you got to
Like-
battle. Some you got to battle some of the acoustics. Others, it's really confined space, so you might feel like jammed, or there might be like a stage that you've scoped out before. I want to go up there during the show. like stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever scoped out scenes like that before?
I think sometimes we look at photos of the venue
That's
just
the
to
big
see
one.
the stage size, so we know how we can prepare a show for that stage.
Yeah.
Right. I love to look up photos beforehand. Even
Right.
just like to know how to dress if you're outdoor by the pool is going to be different than if you're in an
Totally.
elevator.
But I think you made a good point of like, it's something that really can't be anticipated, and like the more, at least personally, I love just showing up in a space that I don't know, because it's like the least expectations I can have going into an event, the more I can be present for it. And for something like the rock boat, it's like I already think it's gonna be one of my favorite weeks of my life going into it.
Nice.
And part of that is like, okay, well, I feel this way already. I don't got to look at any photos of why or how it's going to be that. I'm just going to show up and let it be what it is. And yeah, I like showing up. I love tour because of that reason. It's like we just pull up to a new place and I don't know what it has in store for us.
Yeah, and I think the
It's
preparation
exciting.
part of it is less the physical, like what stage are we working with, and we always try and just prepare for like what do we think the audience might want, and like preparing to have like the best possible set and kind of maybe gearing, what we're gonna play that night to what the crowd is gonna want or what the energy in the space is, as opposed to maybe the physical stage or like the physical limitations.
Mhm.
I think we're always a lot more crowd and audience focused.
Totally.
Damn, I gotta say, Leo and Claire, your responses there, you sound prepared for this boat. It's so many people come in and they're worried about missing out, and it's got to be so much this, and you're just already welcoming the experience and just going at it and being very mindful at the same time.
Thanks.
Trying to be. Yeah. The boat will take us where we're going.
It's true.
It will. We appreciate you all taking time out of your day to chat with us. Obviously, the rock boat community clearly is excited for you guys to come on the boat and to clearly kick some ass on stage. And whatever happens will happen. And you guys are going to create some memories for some yourselves and for some fellow boaters. And you're probably going to pick up some fans at your shows as well from the boat. That typically happens. It's a thing.
Tell us about some of these tour dates coming up. I see early to mid-December.
Evergreen Tour.
Yes. We are
Philly on the 7th.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
World
We're over
Cafe.
at World Cafe in Philly on the 7th.
Great
We're playing
venue.
DC and New York City, as well as 2 nights at home in Boston. And we're announcing a new single tomorrow that coincides with the name of the tour
Nice.
and coincides with the Boston shows.
Exciting.
And we're excited to get that song in the world, and this will be our first headlining shows that kind of get us ready for all our touring for next year. And
Awesome.
we're looking forward to it. And it's in our neck of the woods. We've been touring the rest of the country a lot lately. It's nice to play at home.
Very cool. Well, 69 today, 69 or 70 days until the boat. Super excited to see you guys in person. Again, thank you so much. I would encourage everyone to go check you guys out at BermudaSearchParty.com. Get tickets, go show up to the shows, buy the merch, and we'll see y'all on the boat.
Totally.
Can't wait.
Looking forward to
we'll
it.
see you on the boat.
See you on the boat.
Can't wait. Thanks again, everyone.
Thanks, you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.